Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Gabby if you are new here, and today I'm gonna be telling y'all how to emotionally detach. Okay. That was a little bit much, but I'm excited, y'all. If you're new here, I talk and speak everything out of love, okay? We speak out of love over here. So when I say emotionally detached, there's a way you can emotionally detach yourself and still be emotionally distant.
Yeah, whatever.
And then there's a way that you can emotionally detach and still be at peace and be a loving individual. Okay, that's what's up. I'm good, love. That second one, ding ding ding, that's what we're going for over here. Okay, so most of us as women are emotional beings. Men can be emotional too. We all have emotions and we all experience the same ones. Women experience them to a different level, but men, I just wanted to put that out there in case you're a guy and you're watching this video. This video can help you too, because there's so many things that we go through in life that alter our minds and how we process situations and how we use our emotions with other people, places, or things. I said people, places, or things because I'm talking about emotional attachment to anything. We're talking about nouns, okay? We all can have any unhealthy level of attachment. I will be weighing more heavily in on the personal and relationship side, just because I think people can relate to this the most, but there are still other things that I will be sprinkling throughout the videos and giving examples of that as well. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first one of helping y'all to emotionally detach, okay? Let go of who you thought they were or who they were supposed to be, because when you do that, then you will be able to see who they are actually as a person. Regardless of how that person relates to you, the real version of them that you will see is the real version of them that you need to see. When we enter these relationships with these people, things start out a certain type of way, or we start out a certain type of way, and we see certain actions and emotions as one thing. But as we begin to grow and change and want more, or maybe even want to downsize a little bit and we want a little less, we start seeing the situations and the people around us differently. But we still hold on to what that person once was in our eyes. We still hold on to how they used to make us feel, what they used to do. Or we still have these thoughts and images in our minds of what this person is supposed to be, because I think most of us assume that when we go into something with somebody, or even if we go into a job or something like that, that it's supposed to grow with us or change with us. And when we find ourselves in a situation where we have grown and we have changed and we want the community or the household or the person or whomever or whatever to grow with us, and we turn around and see that it's not the case, then we start getting angry and we start expecting things. We start expecting more. We want to see more, and we want it so bad that our emotions get disrupted. It's coming from a good place because we want great things, we want better things, but we start to expect things from these outside people to get to our level or to get to what we see or expect it in our minds. And that causes a lot of disappointment and aggravation and suffering, when especially when you are putting in so much time, energy, effort, and communication to get people to understand what you mean or what you say or what you see, and it doesn't make a difference. When you start to let go of what they are supposed to be in your head or what you thought they were, once you let go of who you thought they were, just strip the whole title and the image away that you thought, and look at this person, evaluate this person, analyze this person for who they are today, who they have been since the problems have started. You can really start to remove yourself from the strong attachment that you have to them, because the reality is you're not truly attached to them. You attach to this image, this picture, this idea of what they are to you in your head or what they were. And this moves into the next tip, which is to humanize them. When we see people as a certain role in our lives, or we see them going by a certain title, we tend to put people up on a pedestal. We glorify them in a certain light to do a certain thing, and we expect so many things of them. It doesn't matter who this is. This could be a mom or a dad, a sibling, a best friend, your boss. Like, these titles have certain things in our head that books, society, our minds, other relationships we look in on are telling us that this is how it's supposed to be. This person is supposed to treat me like this. This situation is supposed to go like that. It's supposed to be a certain way. And when this person or the situation that we're dealing with is not going the way we believe that it's supposed to go, or we've been told, or we know that it's supposed to go, it gets really hard because it's somebody that we really care about. It's somebody that we really, really do want that connection with and that we love. And we want it so bad that we forget that behind every title is just a person. Behind every role is just a woman. It's just a man. It's just a girl. That person is just much higher in your life to you because of what they mean to you. That makes me think, have y'all seen that little movie Home with the character where Rihanna played the voice and it was like the little purple alien? Every time the little girl was saying my mom, because she was looking for her mom in the movie because the aliens took her mom away, the alien was calling her my mom. He was like, oh well, let's go find my mom. He didn't understand how important her mom was to her. He didn't know anything about humans, so as he went through the movie with her and saw how excited she would get when they would get close, or how sad she would get when it seemed like she would never find her mom, he realized,
oh, so this other human to you is someone who is very important to you, more important to you than most humans, which is why you call her my mom.
And the girl said yes. And when you think about it that way, that's really what we do. At the end of the day, we're all just humans. Like, and when you put certain people in certain roles and expect certain things, you start to expect more from them, which is expected, you know. But people fail us all the time. Like, we fail ourselves all the time. We fail other people. And when you start to humanize them and see them as just a person, you can have more humility for them. You can have more forgiveness for them. And you can start to let go of that part of them that you wanted to work so badly, and actually just start to really release them, or just accept them for who they are, where they're at. And the next thing you got to do to start emotionally detaching in a healthy way is figure out what it is or why you want that situation or that thing or that person to work so bad. And I say so bad because that's how it is. We feel it in the pits of our stomachs, in the depths of our soul. Why do you want this dude to text you back so bad? Why do you want your friend to get it together so bad? Why do you want to reconnect with your dad so bad? Like, some of these, and asking yourself this question might seem obvious, like, because I love them and I just want things to be right, you know? I just want things to go well so that we can be happy. And look, I understand that. I totally understand that. But with that comes the understanding that you need to have that this image, this movie that you have in your head is something that you made up. Or it could be something that, you know, y'all had conversation and they talked about hopes and dreams between y'all. They told you, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and life is going to be blah, blah, blah. You know, they could have possibly gassed you up or hyped you up. And now you're going off of a movie that they created and planted in your head. At the end of the day, it's still in your head. So even though it's not real, you're clinging onto it so tight. And you really got to be able to dig deep into yourself and ask yourself real questions of, why do I want this to work out so bad? Why do I want this career so bad? Like, why am I so attached to it? Why does it have to happen? Is it because this is what I really want to do? Or is this because what I need to do to make somebody in my family proud? Is this actually what I want to do for the rest of my life? Or is this because I feel like this is a job I have to get in order to make myself look like somebody, in order to make this certain amount of money? Just because you want it, just because it'll make you happy, like, no, that's surface level. It's always something that goes way deeper into why you really want something, why you really want somebody in your life, and you got to figure out why you are so attached. And once you realize what that is, you will be able to release yourself, because you realize you're just holding on to them because of that. You'll start to realize that you're holding on to them so tightly that this is one of the reasons that you're holding on to them, and you can't let go. Your feelings just can't seem to let go because of that. And I'm sharing these things with y'all because it's something that we all deal with and we all need to know. And I'm sharing this from what I know. From what I know, I am a very emotional person, but my whole life I have tried to hide it. I never wanted the people to see me vulnerable. I never wanted people to see me cry, because to me that meant I was weak. One time one of my friends called me a jelly bean, and I really felt some type of way about that. I do still think it was rude. But I am, like, I had a hard outer shell and I was really soft inside. Where I'm from, where I came up, you can't be like that and still expect to survive out there. People will eat you alive if you go out there in your feelings all the time. So I covered up that part of me, and then I ended up being somebody who had no control over her emotions because I didn't know how. I didn't even know I was supposed to. Me controlling my emotions was just bottling them up. I cried alone. Like, I can only think of probably a couple of times in my life where I actually cried with somebody, cried around somebody. I always cried alone. Every time I would get mad, it would just stack up, like bottle up inside, until somebody pulled the last straw and I would just blow up on them. I had no control over all of these huge emotions that I have. And once I started, you know, not only getting connected in relationships, but wanting things in my life, you know, wanting deeper relationships with certain family members, it really started to boil over out of control. So what I'm telling you, I promise you, if you do these things, that they will work for you. And the next one is so important. You got to understand, you got to believe that you are something without them. You have to stop thinking that you're nothing without them, that you won't be whole without them, or that you won't be successful without them, or without whatever that thing is. So many times we tend to create this whole roadmap for our life. We just paint the whole picture. We say, forget you, God. We say, I know you love me, God, and I love you too, but this is the plan here. Let's make it happen. Amen. Thank you. That's what we do. That's what we do. And when something steps out of line, when something gets too far off from what seems like our reach, when somebody is acting out of character, we start freaking out. We start freaking out on the inside, and then on the outside we start doing things that don't even truly align with us, and we know we don't, because we don't feel good about it. We looking through phones, turning into private investigators. We sending text messages that we wish we never would have sent, blocking people that after a while we just feel like, oh, I should have never blocked them, I should have talked it out. We cutting off people, and then later coming to our senses like, why didn't I just, you know, hear what they had to say? We doing all of these things out of emotions, and some of those things are things that we really don't even want to do. We do certain things out of sadness or anger, hoping that it will draw people back in. Because if they really love me, if they really care about me, they're gonna see how upset I am, and they're just gonna come to the rescue and fix it. But no, everybody doesn't operate like that. Other people have emotional issues too, that they don't even understand themselves. Like, they can't understand you even if they try. But you gotta understand that life can be successful without them. You can be whole without them. Life can and will move on without them. Like I said before, you gotta let that thing go. You gotta let that dream go. That movie in your head, you gotta let it go, because some of these dreams that we have for ourselves in our lives are not meant to be for our life. I'm not saying to just throw all your dreams in the trash, but some of the dreams that we create are based on hurt. Times when we were in survival mode and just trying to make it is where some of those dreams were birthed. And it doesn't align with where you're actually going, where your heart really is. You might just have pieces of the dream and they just don't look like what you thought they would look like, which is good, because a lot of the things that we think we want don't work for us, or they're what the unhealed version of us wants, that we think we want. And then when we become whole and better, we realize, oh, what was I thinking? I never wanted, I don't want that at all. But you thought you did though. And that's okay, because this is all a journey. But you really have to start seeing yourself as somebody who can have something great without that thing, without that person, without settling in a certain place. You have to open your mind to the possibilities of what God has for you and what you can actually do in your life for real. And the next one kind of ties into that, and it's so real. It's so real. You really gotta stop thinking. You gotta let go of the idea that no one will ever love you, want you, or care for you even close to what this last person did, to what this last job did, to what this last opportunity did for you, or give you what this last opportunity gave you. You have to stop thinking that you can't have that again, and that you can't have more than that. I used to get so trapped in this thinking, oh, I'll never find somebody else who will care about me and protect me and blah 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 blah. And I was just so delusional because I didn't even know the half. I didn't even know what type of people were actually out there who actually had real hearts and who could really actually care. People who actually really care. Because when you've never been cared for properly, you don't know what it's like to get real care from somebody, to get real love and concern. You don't know what real hospitality is like if you never received it. It be so many of those videos going around on social media where it'll be like a guy, and the main point on the video is like, when you see that her last man didn't do anything, she praises basic things or something like that. And he'll just be like taking out the trash and she'd be so happy. Or he'll hold the door or open the door, like basic stuff that most people are not used to someone doing for them. We come from so many different backgrounds, so many different areas. There's just a world of opportunity out there. There's a world, literally a world of people that will treat you with kindness and treat you with love and treat you with respect, who will communicate with you, who will talk to you with love, who will surprise you, who will honor just you and your time and your presence, and not just your body or not just your money. There's people out there who are actually good people. I think the media has done such an excellent job, the news, also social media, of putting so many bad stories out there, so many scary stories out there, that we're afraid and we just no longer believe that people out there are good, or we believe that the good people are scarce or taken. And so we just stick with where we're at and we just try so hard to make this thing work, and it just attaches us even more emotionally because we get in a stressful place of like, oh, this gotta work, this gotta work, this gotta work, when no, God did not create you to be living like that. He doesn't want you to live like that. It makes no sense. Like, why would he have created you and allowed you to live this life and walk on this earth if he was just gonna let you live like that and let somebody treat you like less than? Come on. Jesus did not die for you to be getting treated like that, to be letting people treat you like that. I didn't even tab this one down, but that just came to my mind. Thank you, Lord. You have to stop being afraid to be alone. Ooh, when I tell you this came to me, baby, I started flying like a bird. I started flying like a bird because so many of us are afraid to be alone. Nobody really wants to be alone, and you definitely don't want to be lonely, because people that are alone can be happy. The people that are lonely are not. Even the most introverted, shy person does not want to be alone. When you're afraid to be alone, you're connecting yourself, you're allowing yourself to stay stuck to somebody or something that is not good for you. You hear females all the time, I don't know about guys, but females all the time be like,
I would rather stay with him and try to make it work because people are crazy out there. People be having diseases. I already know how this works.
And like, it's just a safety net, you know? Like, why not just be alone? You know, you don't have to take that type of behavior from somebody or put yourself at risk with somebody new either. You wouldn't be ready for that emotionally anyway. Just be by yourself. Like, just be by yourself. And then even if you did want to get into the world again, like, and connect with people, because people have STDs, you can do things the right way, you know, and go get tested. That's another story for another day. Ooh, I'm about to hit y'all with this next one. This next one is something that people do so bad, but if you really want to emotionally detach on a real level, it be on a real high free level, you really have to dismiss what you believe you are in their eyes. You have to dismiss what you think you are to them. You have to let that go and stop thinking about them. And what I mean is, when you see two people separate, when you see somebody leave a job, when you see somebody move from a place, a lot of people have this feeling of, have this thought or emotion of like, they're gonna miss me, they'll never be the same without me, they're gonna struggle without me, they'll never find another one like me, period. And I believe people do this to make themselves feel better, you know, to try to fill their cup up on the way out. But when you're filling your cup the right way, the spiritual way, you already know that you don't have to try to validate yourself in that way. You don't have to validate yourself in such a way that's so degrading that you have to shoot somebody else down because they're losing you to make yourself feel better. It is true. It is true. When you were a good person, people will miss you. They will miss that light. They will struggle without you. And you know that. You already know that. So you don't have to keep talking about that and saying that to yourself and saying that to other people and putting that energy out there. That place or that person or that situation, yeah, we all miss a good thing. We all miss a good thing. But the more you speak on that stuff, the more you keeping a situation alive. So in a situation like this where you would say stuff like that to yourself, you have to flip it and say something else instead. Gosh, I'm so thankful that I got out of that situation. Lord, thank you for relieving me before it got any worse. I am free to continue to love on myself and to pour in to every situation that deserves my energy and that will reciprocate my energy. You know, instead of being negative about it, be positive and say something that will bring life instead. Don't speak death with your tongue, speak life with your tongue. And the next thing that you got to do, that's super major key is accept yourself. You have to accept who you are, where you're at. Even if you know you're not where you want to be, you have to accept yourself right now. If you don't accept yourself right now, you'll never be able to believe that somebody else will, that another company will, that any other opportunity will come your way, because you're always going to think you're not enough. You have to accept yourself first. Like, look at yourself, evaluate yourself. Like, if I never change today, if the way I am today, if I am this way for the rest of my life, am I just going to be unhappy with myself for the rest of my life? That's a real question, and that runs deep. You have to be able to answer that and say, no, I'm going to accept myself. I do believe in my whole heart that I'm going to continue to change. I'm going to continue to elevate. I'm going to continue to grow. But if I do not change, I will still accept myself for who I am today. If you don't, who will other than God? Who will other than Jesus? Even if somebody does come your way where they accept you or where you are, you're not going to be able to believe it because you don't. And from there, you got to start liking yourself. You don't just wake up one day and love yourself. I think that's why the topic of self-love has been so watered down, because people make it sound like it's that easy. It's not easy to just start loving yourself when you never even liked yourself. When there's a lot of stuff about you that you don't like, or the world or other people or an old friend or old boyfriend or whatever made you feel so bad about. People your whole life have been pointing out this certain thing on you, on your body. And one day you just supposed to wake up and believe otherwise? No, like, you have heard it so much that they have conditioned you to believe that too. So you have to go in and break that stuff down. You don't just do that one day. And it starts with liking who you are first, and then loving yourself. When you love yourself, you don't put up with extra BS. When you love yourself, you don't act out of desperation. When you love yourself, you're not desperate. You don't crawl after people. You don't bow down and kiss their feet. You don't let them call you out of your name. You don't beg for a job, because you have dignity and self-respect and self-love. When you love yourself, your whole world changes. Everything around you changes without you even doing anything to make things change. This moves into the next big thing, which is that you gotta find you. You gotta find you in this world. People that are emotionally attached, too emotionally attached, spend a lot of time thinking about other people, what they can do for other people, how they can better themselves for other people, how they can show up in the world to present themselves better for other people. You think so much about other people, and when you think about yourself, it's not in a good way. It's about what you need to do, what you need to stop doing, how you look, how you need to look better. This don't look good on you. You need to try this. I need to lose this pounds. The way you think about yourself is so negative when you are emotionally attached, because you don't see your value, you just don't see your worth, and you always thinking about what you got to do to compete with somebody else. You always thinking about what you got to do to make sure you're enough, to make sure you're better, and you'll never get to that point. That's why you see little quotes and stuff out here, and it's like you can do everything you can to be the best you can, and for the wrong people, for the wrong person, it still won't be enough. That's facts. But you got to be enough for yourself first. And people who usually try to strive to be the best for somebody, they usually don't believe that they're the best for themselves. You don't try to do all that when you pour into yourself. You got to pour into yourself. You got to be the best for you. You really got to find your self-worth, your self-love, your self-respect, your self-control. You got to find you in this world. You got to find you in your world. Ain't that crazy? We all have our own little worlds. I be telling my daughter that we basically, our lives, everybody has their own little movie. And she's like, oh, so God can look down and just watch our movies? I'm like, yeah, girl, he just be watching our movies. But everybody have their own movie. Can you imagine having your own movie? It's your movie and somebody else is the main character. You're the antagonist in the movie. You're supposed to be the good guy, the character that everybody is rooting for. To grow and prosper and do well and live life and be happy and have that happy ending, and you barely get screen time because everybody else in your movie is always on the screen. That's crazy. And lastly, which all of these things I just said leads to what I'm about to say next, which is you have to heal and you have to get to worthy. You have to heal these hurts, these pains, these voids in you. You have to find your self-worth. You have to love yourself. It all comes down to how you treat yourself, how you view yourself, and the attachment you have to yourself. Some people have too much of attachment to themselves and they are very self-involved, but that's another thing on another level. So I'm just gonna say, have a healthy relationship with yourself. Have a healthy relationship with you. Love you. Go to therapy if you have to. You gotta heal. You gotta see yourself as valuable as you keep seeing these other things or these other people. You have to start getting in tune with what you want in your righteous heart, what you desire to be able to really get free. People really don't be bothering me like that no more. Oh, I want to add another thing too. You just gotta stop taking things so personal. Like sometimes it's really not that deep. Sometimes it's really not that deep. Take it for what you hear and let it go. Just take it for what you heard and just don't think into it. You know, sometimes it's as simple as that. You can make a situation so much more or get so much more emotionally attached because, oh, he said my hair was cute, girl. He said I looked good last night. He said I looked cute. Maybe he was just giving you a compliment. Some guys actually are out there who are just nice and like to give compliments. That's kind of hard to believe, but it's true. Like they might just think you're pretty and want to tell you and don't really want nothing with you. You gotta stop taking things so personally and get personal with yourself. We can keep doing this work together. I want y'all to heal and grow just like I want to continue to heal and grow. In ourselves, on the outside of ourselves, our relationships with God, our love for Jesus, everything, okay? That's it for today, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I love y'all so much, and until the next one, and peace and love, I'm out.